I think we need to realize that there is nobody else to compete with except for you. You are your only competition. You're not competing. But I feel like we shouldn't compete with anybody else. I feel like we should only compete with. I personally think, but I think a lot of people will think differently. I feel like we should only compete with our past selves. And let me get into detail. Let's say there's something I want to improve on or whatever. I feel like I'll look back at myself. Okay, let's say like I look back at myself like 6 months ago, and let's say like that's when I started consistently going to the gym. I'm not gonna like look at somebody else and be like, oh, I'm gonna compete with him and see like who could get bigger in this amount of time. No, I'm gonna compete with myself and see how far I can grow in 6 months and see how big I can get in 6 months. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we tend to compete with other human beings when the only human being we should compete with is you. I feel like and our only competition is us, because what I was also gonna say is that we we also stop ourselves from doing a lot of things. That is our competition. Our competition is also our thoughts inside and our mindset and the way we set our and the way we set our things. And I feel like those are the things we should compete with. I don't mean by going head in head with them, like just battling them. I feel like we should just improve on them. You find time to improve on your mind, improve on, I don't know, if you have anger issues like self-control or something like that. I feel like we should take time to improve on certain things. And that's where like you are your only competition. I feel like we shouldn't compete with other people for what they have and how their mindset is, and I don't know, the things that I don't know like they like. But it's like, stop competing. I feel like one of the, I don't know, I don't want to say dumb, but I don't like when people compete with other people and stuff like that. And it's just where I feel like life is just a race in between us. We have our infant selves, us as kids, us as teenagers, us as young adults, us as adults, and us when we're like old. And I feel like that's our competition. I feel like we should try and do better every single time. Like, and I don't mean, by being perfect, but, like, I always say this because, a lot of people think a lot of people are perfect, but in reality, we're not. Nobody's perfect. And, you know, even though, or I'm human, like, I've made like a lot of mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I always look back. Every day I wake up, I tell myself, yo, I'm gonna be better than yesterday. I'm gonna do better than yesterday. That's my goal. My goal every day is to be better than myself yesterday. That is my biggest goal. And I feel like that should be everybody's biggest goal. And I feel like my biggest competition is yesterday. And I don't mean by, like dwelling on the past or whatever, but I feel like every time I'm in a situation, I tell myself, like, what I mean by a situation is like when I wake up, like in the morning, and I tell myself, like, let's say, like tonight when I go to bed, and then when I wake up tomorrow morning, I'm gonna be like, you know what, I did good yesterday, but I'm gonna be better today. That's what I mean by we are our only competition. You know what? And let's say like, I'm lacking on something. I'm gonna be like, you know what? Today, like, I'm gonna work on this. Ooh, I wanna be better than myself yesterday that couldn't do this. I'm gonna prove to myself that my present self can do it than my past self. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I feel like I just be saying stuff, but that's the end of today's video. Hopefully I enjoyed it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and I'm gonna catch y'all. Peace.